Hey everybody, it's Adrian Manray. So, last night I went and saw Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 in theaters. Now, you might be wondering, why the hell did I watch this when the first one was so bad? Well, it promised a bigger budget, and it promised it was going to be a better movie. And I am happy to say that it is a good movie. Like, I felt emotional, I was pretty scared, and I loved some of the gore and effects in the movie. Is it perfect? No. But I still loved it. Before I go into spoiler mode, I'm gonna say this. This movie does set up a lot of things in their little universe called the Twisted Childhood universe. And I made a theory video, and you can check that out when you have the time to do so. But there is some confusing bits in the movie, but I didn't care that much about the confusing bits because I was just having a good time. So yeah, let's get into spoiler mode now. So we get a little narration from like an author like we did in the last movie, but it shows Christopher Robin running away from the 100-acre wood after the events of the first movie, and he returns to his childhood home of Ashdown, which is actually a real town in England. Looking for help, the cops find the corpses of Maria and her friends, and Christopher is believed to be responsible. And this sets up a incident that people dubbed the 100-Acre Massacre. And they made a film adaptation based on the murders being released, which ruins Christopher Robin's reputation in Ashdown. And if you guys don't know, this is basically poking fun at Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1. Yep. They poke fun at it. They know it's a bad film. Now he's an outcast of the town. Christopher has like nightmares about Pooh, and he goes to his hypnotherapist Samantha to deal with childhood trauma because his twin brother Billy was kidnapped and never seen again. Meanwhile, in the 100-Acre Wood, Pooh and Piglet were recovering from the events of the first film because, well, their homes were burned down by some hunters and people who believed Christopher Robin. They were forced to hide away with Owl and Tigger, and they're pretty ticked. They then slaughter a group of university students in a RV. Perfect place to slaughter people. An RV. And some hunters ambush the creatures and kill Piglet. He got like a shotgun to the head. But don't worry, he survives. Which leads Owl to convince Pooh to attack Ashdown instead of simply waiting for more hunters to try and kill them. Like, Owl's voice in this movie is so freaking amazing. Like, for real, bro. Meanwhile, Christopher loses his job as a doctor because of the controversy, and he does confront the hunter who survived, and he says that Pooh and his friends did this to him. And this kind of makes Christopher Robin freak out more. He returns to undergo hypnotherapy with his hypnotherapist Samantha. And he does get a memory of Christopher playing with Billy. And then he sees Billy getting kidnapped. He eventually meets the janitor hospital called Cavendish. And apparently he was also involved in the kidnapping. Wait, hold on. He was involved in the kidnapping. Never mind. It was revealed through another flashback. Like, when the kidnapper's face is unblurred, it reveals Cavendish, and Christopher Robin confronts him about it. He reveals that he worked for a mad scientist called Dr. Gallup, and the only reason Cavendish worked for him to kidnap those kids was so that the doctor could pay off his gambling debt. So now, who is Dr. Gallup? Well, I think he's an original character for the movie. He is a scientist who kidnapped kids around Ashdown for experiments with animal genes, and the kids were buried in a 100-acre wood to cover their story up. Basically, the kidnapped kids are Winnie the Pooh and friends. So when some of the authorities were coming after Dr. Gallup, he needed to cover it up, and he buried his experiments, but they ended up coming back as half animal, half human hybrids with an enhanced healing factor. And then basically Cavendish oofs himself out of guilt with a shotgun to the head. Christopher learns that Billy was among the victims and was resurrected as Pooh, so that gives a bit of an emotional conflict there. When Christopher leaves, he decides to warn the town about the creature's imminent attack, but faces ridicule and skepticism because, well, nobody really believes him. Pooh, Tigger, and Al embark on a rampage later to kill several residents on the way, including Christopher's best friend Finn, who basically had acid vomit on him because in this movie, Owl can apparently vomit acid. Yup, he can vomit acid. Dear God. For real. Pooh then goes to Christopher's parents' house and he kills his mom and dad and kidnaps Helen, nicknamed Bunny. Helen is Christopher's younger sister, and she's a very small child, maybe a 6 or 7 year old, I think. Christopher's girlfriend Lexi takes him to a rave party at a warehouse where the creatures slaughter all the party goers. And my lord, the rave scenes were crazy. You hear a very upbeat song going on while Pooh is killing some and Pooh throws a bear trap on someone's head and he's just yoink! And oh my god, Tigger was probably the most scariest in the rave scene. Dude. Oh, and by the way, Tigger cusses. Yep, and he acts like Freddy Krueger while doing it. Dude's a damn maniac. But Tigger does get shot by Christopher Robin. Dude. They return to the 100-acre wood and fight Pooh, who easily subdues them both. And dude, the final battle of this movie, Pooh has a fire chainsaw. Dude has a straight up fire chainsaw. I'm being serious, bro. Though he only had it for a couple 20 seconds. It was worth it, dude. It was worth it. Then Christopher calls Pooh by his real name Billy and tries to remember his childhood, but Pooh only wants to kill Christopher Robin. And when Lexi does take a hit on him, Pooh turns to Lexi, and then Christopher comes up with an axe, and Pooh finally says his iconic line, boys. Oh, mother. So Christopher reunites with Lexi and Bunny, and the footage of the creature's killing spree was on Ashdown is passed to the police, and Christopher is cleared of all his wrongdoings. The wrongdoings being all the stuff he was accused of. And all the creatures are dead. And there's happy music going on. Everyone's happy. This is the end of Pooh and Friends. It's totally the end of it. Right?
Psych! Foolish Christopher Robin. Oh, how little you know. Our strength is in our friendship. Oh, Pooh, you are indeed a bear of little brain. But I'll bring you back. We'll all be back for you, Christopher Robin.
So yeah, they will be back in a sequel. And this is the start of a cinematic universe. Did I forget to mention that? Yeah. Yeah. This is some crazy shit. If you forgot that they had regenerative abilities during the movie, that's on you, bro. Sorry. And that's how the movie ends. First, we need to get into the Easter eggs before I get into, like, all the cinematic universe stuff. Like, what's coming next, for the moment. So, let's look back at the film. While Christopher Robin is searching on the internet to find some sort of clue as to where Billy was, the website that he searches on is named Milne. This is in homage to Winnie the Pooh author A.A. Milne. While Christopher continues searching, there is an article about a zombie deer. This is a tease to Bambi. Those are the only Easter eggs I've caught, but if there were more, please let me know in the comments. Now let's get into the cinematic universe aspect, which appears during the credits. And this teases a whole lot of stuff, so let's break it down one by one. First is a drawing of Bambi and this little boy. Now this little boy's name is Benji, and he is the son of Zana. They will appear in Bambi the Reckoning. And to the bottom right, you can see a radioactive material dumped out. So maybe why Bambi was zombified is because of this radiation. Next is this creature with what looks like an elephant trunk. Now, based on the picture, it looks like he came out of a giant hole in the ground. So I don't know what that's about, but you can see like some of his guts are hanging out there. His fingers are a bit contorted. And he's like human feet, but he has like warts all over his body, like on his head. So I have two guesses as to what this is. This is either a heffalump from Winnie the Pooh, or this is some sort of creature from Lewis Carroll's writings, either Alice in Wonderland or the Jabberwocky. That's just my guess. This does set up Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. In this photo, we have Rabbit meeting back up with Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger. And this does confirm that Rabbit will be appearing in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. This image we have seen before. This basically teases Pinocchio unstrung. And this photo we have already seen too, and this teases Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Now this one, I'm gonna have to think a little bit harder because this is kind of vague and not obvious, kind of like the other one. So I'm guessing this is either maybe Little Red Riding Hood? It looks like like this person has a backpack. I have no clue, guys. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments. And this final image teases Poohniverse Monsters Assemble, which is the basic Avengers movie of the Twisted Childhood universe. Now, let's get into the most embarrassing part. What did I get wrong in my theory video? Well, I'm gonna tell you everything I got wrong, I guess, and also everything I got right. Okay, so I misheard from the trailer. I thought it said they didn't stay bad, but in the movie, it made it clear that they said he didn't stay buried. So I misheard. It was the accent that threw me off. So, remember when I said that Pooh and Friends could have been created by magic or gods? I was wrong. I was so wrong. Now that I've seen Blood and Honey 2, I'm starting to think they were all made by science. Not gonna lie. So, I was right about them expanding upon the lore. Glad I got that one right. Okay, so I was right about Billy being Pooh, but the way how he turned into Pooh. So in the theory video, I said that he might have been killed in a ritualistic sacrifice and reincarnated into Pooh, but in reality, he was just genetically spliced with bear DNA. Okay, so yeah, I was so wrong about them being reincarnated children. Yep. My bad, folks. At this point, I really just think they're just science experiments gone wrong. Like, dude, I may have gotten a bit too deep into the lore of these characters. Also, I am reacting to this while recording, so forgive me if some things sound out of context. Now that I see this, I'm pretty sure the toxic radiation's gonna make Bambi go insane rather than his hatred for humanity. While it still might be present in Bambi the Reckoning, like, I think it's the radiation that's screwing with his mind and made him a monster. Yeah, Bambi's not gonna leave Zana and Benji alone. He will return in Poohniverse. Okay, I still stand about them coming together because of their hatred for humanity. I'm sticking to that for the moment. I can confirm to you guys right now, Sleeping Beauty and Mad Hatter will be appearing in Poohniverse. And oh boy, 3C Films was right. Also, he made a little cameo in the movie. Before this video ends, I would like to show you some stuff that was revealed during the intro of this event. Basically, Reese Frake Waterfield and Scott Chambers talk about some of the upcoming projects they have, which include Bambi the Reckoning, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Poohniverse, and Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. So let's start with Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
The tone of Peter Pan, I would say, probably the most dark of all the films that we're developing at the moment, is very twisted. I've been very much inspired by the Black Phone and French cinema such as Inside, Switchblade Romance. They've been favourites of mine for years and years and years. Tinkerbell will be appearing in the movie. She believes that heroin is pixie dust. Why not? The original story, a guy going to windows, luring children out, saying he's going to take them to Neverland.
Next up is some details for Pinocchio Unstrung.
We'll be working on Pinocchio Unstrung, so that'll be filming approximately in September this year. And with this version of Pinocchio, he's going to be similar to like Chucky. We're actually talking to the creator of Chucky, Todd Masters, to design the new puppet for us, which is very exciting. Pinocchio, he's going to have a kind of telescopic nose coming out, which he can use to kill people. And at one point in the film, he's actually going to skin someone and wear their skin to kind of feel like a real boy. So very dark as well.
Next is a description for Bambi the Reckoning.
And then we have just actually shot about a month ago now, Bambi the Reckoning by Dan Allen.
Hello, my name is Dan Allen. I'm the director of upcoming horror film Bambi the Reckoning. If you like classic monster films like Jaws, Alien, Jurassic Park, as well as modern horror like Hereditary, then you are in for an absolute treat. I'm very excited today to share with you an exclusive preview of the film. Bambi the Reckoning is a classic monster movie with a big heart and a giant killer deer. The film follows a mother, Zana, and a son, Benji, as their taxi crashes after an unfortunate encounter with Bambi. What follows is just absolute carnage. There's hunters in pursuit, there's explosions, there's car chases, as well as just this big emotional journey that the characters go on. So expect bloodshed as well as tears. Without any further ado, let's take a look at a clip from the upcoming film Bambi the Reckoning.
Be prepared, ladies and gents, because this Bambi sneak peek is freaking awesome. Enjoy.
You ever shot a deer?
No. Have you?
Yeah. Once.
Alright, explanation time, boys. So basically, these two hunters are basically just chilling, doing some target practice, and this guy's like, "Did you ever shoot a deer before?" And dude's like, "No. Have you?" And this old hunter's like, "Yeah, once." So I'm thinking this guy is the person who killed Bambi's mom. Like, might not be, but just a bit of a hunch. And Bambi's design is freaking awesome. Like, for real. Like, that was cool. Let's get into Poohniverse next, because those details were awesome.
And finally, I think the film that we're most excited about making is going to be absolutely crazy. Me and Reese are massive fans of stuff like Freddy vs. Jason, the Avengers movies, and we kind of thought like we've never seen a horror Avengers.
And that's Poohniverse Monsters Assemble. So in this film, we're going to be having all of the different creatures from the film, such as Pinocchio, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Bambi, all joining forces, and they're going to be attacking our protagonists, and we'll be filming in early 2025.
And not only that, we are going to also be having involved Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the series. He might also be appearing in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3. But anyway, we're going to have Rabbit, we're going to have the Mad Hatter, and we're going to have Sleeping Beauty along with some others that we haven't quite announced just yet.
This makes me wonder, is Poohniverse gonna have like a few select monsters, or is this like a whole large army of monsters? Because having a large army of monsters is gonna be so freaking cool. There aren't characters that haven't been announced yet. And last but not least, the announcement of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 happening. Like, dude, I'll explain after I show this.
And for Winnie 3, which is obviously going to happen, there's some characters we haven't yet introduced, for example, Rabbit and Roo. They will be coming into that sequel, and I'm also looking at introducing the Heffalumps and the Woozles.
We got the confirmation that Rabbit and Roo will be appearing along with the Heffalumps and the Woozles. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck are Heffalumps and Woozles? Well, let me explain. In the Winnie the Pooh books, Heffalumps are elephant-like creatures that only appear in Piglet's imagination in one chapter of one of the books. And they are also fond of honey, apparently. Woozles are weasel-like creatures that live in cold, snowy places. Out of sheer honesty, I'm gonna have to give Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 a 10 out of 10. Like, not 10 out of 10 as in perfect, but 10 out of 10 as in it's a good film. And I absolutely loved it. It is 1,000 times better than the first Blood and Honey, and I hope that the quality of this movie continues going forward with the rest of the Twisted Childhood universe. And this is the end of the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check the Discord in the description below. Make sure to comment down below and tell me what your favorite part of the movie was. And this is Adrian Manwright, and goodbye, folks. See you guys in the next video.